What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome to Fresh Comic Stories. Guys, this is the channel where we basically sit down and cover different kinds of comic book stories. Now guys, today we are going to jump into IDW, and the reason why is because over the last couple months you guys have been asking me to sit down and cover Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, you guys have been asking me for the past couple months. And I say, you know what? It's time for me to finally sit down and read some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And so today, guys, we're going to cover Volume 1. Now, this is the current run, which means we are covering the current storylines of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Not the earlier stuff from the early 2000s. We are covering the current run. And honestly, guys, I cannot wait to basically cover every single story we can about the Turtles. But I do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please hit that like button down below and subscribe. But let's dive into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Volume 1. So we open up today's storyline with Splinter and the Turtles fighting against a random group of gang members that is being led by a mutated cat, which we come to find out his name is Hob. Now this is opening up the storyline with a gang war, but really it's not a gang war. It's just the Turtles trying to protect this part of town to make sure this area is safe. But to make sure the area is safe, they have to fight against Hob and his fellow gang members. Which, with the book opening up to this scene, it is mostly fighting. But the fight ends with the Turtles winning, but you have Hob say, "I will make you disappear like your brother." And this is where we notice that there are only 3 turtles, not 4. The missing turtle is Raphael. But the question is though, where is Raphael? We do get a glimpse of him being lost in the city, but before we learn how he ended up like that, we do jump back in time. We jump back 18 months ago, before the Turtles, Splinter, and Hob were ever mutated, and we pick up at a lab called StockGen. Now StockGen is supposed to be finding a way to bioengineer livestock for third world countries. But we all know when it comes to a science lab, there are more things happening behind the scenes. But we also get introduced to April O'Neil, who is an important character to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles universe. But we also come to find out she is an intern to StockGen, and today is her first day. Of course, on her first day, she gets to meet the Turtles while they are in their tank. And she also gets introduced to Splinter as well. Now, she only knows about the bioengineer part of StockGen. She has no idea about their other secretive projects of theirs. But it does get mentioned that one of their projects they have working here basically makes Splinter a smarter rat than your usual rat. And that's why he's able to run around the office and do all these different things, because one of their projects they were doing here made him a smarter rat than your usual rat. That is when we jump up to the top level of StockGen's building, and we pick up with a man named Stockman, which of course the owner of StockGen. But we pick up with him getting a phone call from General Krang. Now, we do not get a full appearance of General Krang, but we come to find out that apparently General Krang has been funding StockGen because he wants them to make different projects. But you have General Krang talk about one project he needs the most, which is the mutagen. Something really important that Stockman has been working on, and he tells General Krang that he should have it sooner or later. We then get a small quick setting where we learn how the Turtles got their names, which we find out that April O'Neil is working in the lab, and one of the assistants asks her, has she named the Turtles yet? And she says yes, And that is how the turtles have gotten their name, with April just naming each and every single one of them and saying, "These are my turtles." Now we do jump back to the present day, where we pick up with Raphael. It is us finding out that he is on his own and he is trying to find food to survive. Now, we do not learn how Raphael basically ended up out on his own, but it's just him wandering around town just looking for things to help him survive. But while he is searching for stuff, he does overhear an argument coming from a house, where the argument actually sounds like a fight is happening between a father and his son, where it sounds like the father is beating on his son. And with that happening, you have Raphael rush into the house to help out whoever is being beaten up by their father. Now, the second chapter shows us that the person who is being beaten down is Casey Jones, and he is trying to defend himself from his father. Now, this scene right here is very important because even though this is a complete reboot for the Turtles, seeing Casey and Raphael friendship being reintroduced again is kind of cool, because these two were always tight buds. They were always close friends in almost every single Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series. Now you do have Casey Jones' father wanting to fight Raphael, and they do begin to fight against each other. Now this point of the story is to show us that Raphael does not have the same training as his brothers do, which could mean he has been missing longer than we think. But you do have Raphael able to defeat Casey's father, but we also get to see the bond between Raphael and Casey Jones in this part of the story. Now we do jump back in the past, where we pick up now 15 months ago, where April O'Neil is working in a stock gen lab trying to get some schoolwork done. But while she's working there, you have Splinter try to show her something. He is trying to give her a disc that is holding all of the top secrets of stock gen on it. All of the projects that they do not want the public to find out at all. But right after Splinter gives April the disc to look at, well, then you have some random ninjas appear in the building. Now we all know who these ninjas belong to, and of course it is the Foot Clan. But these Foot Clan members are after two things: the mutagen and also the turtles as well. And so they put the turtles in the bag, but also with the mutagen as well. And they leave the building in a hurry because, well, the fire alarm was pulled by Splinter as a way to hopefully get the cops involved. But while the Foot Ninjas were leaving on the roof, you have Splinter attack one of the ninjas, which caused the ninja to drop the bag that was holding the turtles in the mutagen. And of course, with that happening, the turtles, Splinter, and the mutagen fall to the ground level. But the container that was holding the mutagen broke open, and some fell on the turtles and also on Splinter. But when Splinter looked up, we see a cat is holding Raphael in its mouth, which of course is Hob from earlier. But we jump back over to the present day, and we pick up with Splinter talking about how they must keep searching for Raphael, because without him, the family is incomplete, and also because he is holding another secret from the turtles, which we will not discover until Volume 2. But to close the second chapter of this story, we jump back over to Raphael and Casey Jones, and right now the two of them are talking about getting some food, but the problem is they are broke, which means without money you really can't do anything in the situation they are in. But Casey puts on his famous hockey mask and tells Raphael that they're going to find a way to make some money to get some food. Now, the third chapter of this storyline, we pick up with Raphael and Casey Jones going around beating up thugs as a way to make money. But this is also them trying to make this part of town better for the people who live in these parts. Now, while that is going on, you have Casey Jones open up to Raphael about his origin. And Casey Jones tells us that his father is always drunk. But ever since his mother died from cancer, his drinking only gotten worse. But you also have Casey Jones bring up why he does not fight back against his dad like he does when he's beating up random thugs. He tells Raphael that he promised his mother that he would kind of be there for his father no matter what, because her death was a huge hit to the both of them. But he says he is lucky for him he has a full ride at the university because he joined their hockey team there. And so it was really a quick rundown on his origin of him before he met up with Raphael. We then jump back to the past, where we left off at with Hob holding Raphael in his mouth. Now remember, this is before the Turtles, Splinter, and also Hobbs have been mutated into man-like creatures. But you have Splinter trying to fight against Hob to protect the Turtles. Now remember, Splinter is not your usual rat. He was tested on to kind of be smart as a human. But you have Splinter cut Hob in the eye to make him let go of Raphael. But on the claws of Splinter, there were the substance of the mutagen. And so when Splinter scratched the eye of Hob, the mutagen went inside the body of Hob. And that is how he was mutated into the man-like cat. But after Hob had run away, you have Splinter trying to drag the Turtles back in the bag to get away. But one of the foot ninjas came back for the Turtles and the mutagen. And right when the ninja was about to attack Splinter, Splinter dragged the bag into the sewers to get away. But he only saved 3 of the 4 Turtles. And when Splinter woke up the next day, he sees that him and the Turtles have been mutated into man-like animals. We then jump back over to the present day, and we pick up with Raphael and Casey Jones finally being able to get some food to eat. But while they were eating, they see a bunch of gang members running around the area. And so you had the two thinking they will be able to handle this gang problem. But when they go give chase to some of these gang members, they find out it was an ambush because Hob is behind them and he is here to finally get his revenge against Raphael. Now, with Hob confronting Raphael and Casey in the middle of the park, that is when you have Raphael memories start to come in out of nowhere about the night him being mutated into a man-like turtle. And so with that happening, he starts to get upset with the fact that Hob tried to kill him before they had changed. And with that happening, you have a fight between the two sides, which is kind of cool because it's just a bunch of action scenes going on and you get a full amount of pages of action. Now, while the fight is going on between the two sides, the story does go back in time one more time. And we pick up after the whole Foot Ninjas incident. And we pick up with Stockman right now talking to his assistant about the whole situation that is going on. Because remember, the mutagen was supposed to be worked on and sent to General Crane, the man who is funding Stock Gen. But you have the assistant sit down with Professor Stockman to tell him that the mutagen is gone and there are hardly any samples left. But you have Hob walk up to Stockman right after he just mutated into the man-like cat, telling him that he'll be able to help find Splinter and the Turtles to give Stockman some samples of the mutagen, meaning that Hob is now working for Stockman. Now we then jump back over to the present day. And we pick up with the fight once again with Raphael trying to defend himself against Hob and his gang members. Now this fight does get a little bloody and Raphael is losing the fight against Hob. But while they are fighting against each other, that is when you have the rest of the Turtles appear to help out Raphael. And this is the first time in a long time that all four turtles are back together once again. And you have all four turtles fight against Hob, and they do win, of course. But you have the rest of the turtles kind of fill in the rest for Raphael, saying like, hey man, we are your brothers. We've been looking for you for the longest time, and we are happy to finally have you back in the picture once again. And so after they fight against Hob, they do take him back home to Splinter, which means now the whole family is back together once again. All four turtles and Splinter, all home in the sewers once again. And that kind of wraps up volume 1 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now guys, we're going to cover volume 2, the micro series, the macro series. We're going to cover almost everything Turtles over the next couple months to get caught up, because we have a lot of work to do. But we just covered volume 1, which is issue number 1 through 4. So guys, I do hope you like today's video, and if you do, please leave me a like down below, and also subscribe for more comic book videos in the near future. Also, any suggestions on books I should read, well, let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I'll see you on the next comic book video. Later, guys.